You cannot afford to buy a house. You should not buy a house. Or can you buy a house? Those are the questions that go through your mind on a continual basis. And today we're going to help you answer some of those questions. Hi, I'm Damon Gettier with Damon Gettier & Associates, Realtors Brokered by Real. What you need to consider when you're looking at whether you can afford to buy a house, whether you should buy a house, whether you can buy a house, is the affordability first and foremost. We're talking about affordability, we're talking about your home payment, which is PITI, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. All of that added together in one payment. And we did another video on that. Look for that video. If you can't find it, reach out and we'll send you that video also. First and foremost, you look at what the monthly house payment is going to be. Then what you have to do is, I would highly suggest you talk to a local lender, Virginia lender, reach out and give you a couple names, the ones that we just love and adore. They're going to tell you what percentages you need to look at. And what they look at is they look at before taxes, they look at gross income, and they usually have a percentage. You have 28, 36, you have some 40. It depends on how much you make, but there's a ratio they go by on what you can afford, what they say you can afford. And a lot of times what they say you can afford, you personally know you can't afford. And a lot of times what they say you can afford more. So you really need to sit down with a lender, look at what they say you can afford, look at your budget, and tell what you're comfortable with. There's a thing called payment shock, and payment shock's real, and lenders look at it. And so if you had no payments whatsoever, if you live with mom and dad, and then you want to go to a $5,000 a month mortgage, a lender would be a little skeptical. It's called payment shock, so they don't like it. You need to understand all the upfront costs, because people think buying a house is easy. People think that a no money down mortgage means no money down, and there's no free lunch. It's America, y'all. So you're going to have money down. So when you're buying a house, first and foremost, you have to have earnest money. I had an agent come to me today actually and say, hey, I've got a seller that doesn't want any earnest money. They don't want an earnest money down payment. I'm like, well, we have a problem, because in Virginia, to have a real estate contract, you have to have several tenants, have to have several things in that contract. First and foremost, it has to be in writing. Secondly, you have to have a legal purpose. Third, you have to have consideration. Well, we already got a problem, because consideration is down payment, it's money, it's things, something of value. The only time it cannot be something of value is if you're related, then it can be what's called love, like parents to kids, cousins, whatever. That can be love, can be consideration if you're related. But if you're not related, it's got to be something in consideration. And so you have to have down payment, you have to have earnest money. Earnest money is giving an escrow entity, someone to hold that money to say, yes, I am serious about buying this house, I am moving forward, I am committed to the process, is consideration. Closing costs. Closing costs are anywhere from about 4% to about 6% of the total price of a home. The lower the price of the home, the higher that percentage is, and it's because there are fixed costs that don't change no matter what the price is. So the lower the price, the higher the percentage is that you need for closing costs. You have inspection fees, you have home inspections, you have termite, you have well and septic, radon. There's all types of inspection fees. You need to budget for that. We've done a whole video to that. We need to link that video down below. Then you have moving expenses. Again, moving's not free. I will tell you this though, if I can give you one piece of advice to please follow, if you can afford to pay somebody to move you, pay them to move you. Because as much as you're going to hate moving, as much as you're going to despise moving, if you have 4 friends help you move, you just obligated yourself to help 4 people move in the future. Other expenses you might incur would be home warranties and appraisals. Appraisals are not always required, usually required. Home warranties are never required, but usually always suggested. And it's something that, again, we have a video down below. Please watch that video about home warranties. Highly recommend home warranties. So these are things that you have to pay out of pocket. These are things that are generally not covered. These are things that you need in addition to. Number 3 would be know your down payment options. So we have no money down loans, USDA, some VHDA, and some VA. Then we have your typical loans, which are going to be 3.5% down for FHA. And then if you don't want to pay PMI, private mortgage insurance, you're going to have your 20% down to get out of private mortgage insurance. You want to be realistic in your down payment. If you own a house, something's going to go wrong. If something goes wrong, how are you going to pay for it? And so I would not put every bit of money down you have if you can avoid it, because when something breaks, you don't want to be in a position that you're thinking, do I fix my air conditioning or do I pay my mortgage? Do I fix my refrigerator, replace my refrigerator, or do I pay my mortgage? You don't want to be in that situation. So be realistic in your analysis of your money and what you have to spend and how you're going to spend it. Number 4 is going to be factor in your monthly mortgage. Again, we're going to link that down below, but you're looking at your principal, your interest, your taxes, your insurance, and PMI if you have it, if you don't. You're gonna have to factor that in also. Monthly payment. If you wanna know what goes into factoring that monthly payment, click on the video below. We'll have all that information in there for you. Don't forget the ongoing cost of home ownership. Utilities, we're talking about cable, gas, electric, phone if you have phone, HOA fees, lawn maintenance, repairs and maintenance. Stuff does break. It is a thing that breaks. It wears. So roof, there's gutters, there's doors, there's windows. Things do wear out. So keep in mind you need to budget for those also. Usually what we suggest is that you set aside 1 to 2% of your home's value annually for upkeep. That way it's just there in a little side budget. If something happens, it's there. You don't have to stress about it. It's there to take care of those things. Consider your lifestyle and your future plans. Travel plans, career plans, family plans. Like, what are you gonna do? I always tell people, when you purchase a house, make sure it's gonna be a house that you will be good for in the next 3 to 7 years. Because you do have costs in selling a house, and you wanna make sure that appreciation covers you. Appreciation is when a house value goes up. That's appreciation. What I don't like to see is when somebody buys a house that is only good for today's situation. So, plan for a house that's good for 3 to 7 years. It doesn't have to be your forever home. We don't want it to be your forever home. We want to sell you a lot of homes, but you want it to be so that it does fit your lifestyle for the next 3 to 7 years. And then on that mortgage that we keep harping on, will it limit your flexibility? Is it so much that if you want to step back and not do overtime, that you can still go on the travel, take the vacation you used to do? You don't want a mortgage so high that, again, I stress, like ramen noodles, beanie weenies, you don't want to be relegated to that's what you have to eat. You can't do anything. Get pre-qualified or pre-approved. First step you want to do when you start this whole process is register with the Do Not Call registry. The reason you want to register is because as soon as your lender pulls an inquiry for credit, the credit bureaus, the devils that they are, sell that information to other lenders, and you will get, the very day that you apply for a mortgage, phone calls from 10, 15, 20, 30 other lenders trying to give you credit, trying to get you loans. So the first thing you want to do is register with the Do Not Call registry, and then apply for your loan 5 days later. Take it from me. Use a local lender. Please reach out. I'll give you my advice on lenders. They're great. They're awesome. Talk to a real estate professional. Find someone that is known and trusted. Find someone that has the experience. Find someone to lead you. I was just talking to Christina, who's behind the camera over here, and what I was explaining to her before we started shooting today, it kind of ties in with this video, is that real estate professionals, we want to get paid. Like, it's what we do for a living, okay? But how we do that is by helping and advising you. Our goal should be, and in our company it is, if we help you get what you want, we get what we want. It's a give and a take. And it's funny, all these sayings and all these slogans are slogans and sayings because it is how the world works. Like, it is a reciprocal world. You get what you give. And so if you find a true real estate professional, their goal is going to be to help you find the house that you truly want and deserve. And when they do that, then they get paid. So in helping you, they help themselves. And I truly believe that most real estate agents truly want to do that. So find yourself a good real estate professional that wants to take the time to advise you, the time to inform you. And look, why are we shooting these videos? We're shooting these videos to educate you, the consumer. Why do we do it? We do it in the hopes that you will, in turn, when you think about buying or selling a house, you will come to us. But it also helps me and my agents when you do come to us, that now you're an informed buyer. Now you're an informed seller. Now you have a database of information that you can draw from that will help you make a more informed decision, have a better home buying experience, enjoy the process a lot more than it can be, because it is a hectic experience. It is an experience that draws the life out of you, and we don't want it to do that. And so why do we do this? We do this so that you can have a better experience. We can have a better experience. We'll work together a lot better. If you like the content in this video, if you want to interact with us, please join us on Real Estate Success Cast. Until next time, please like, follow, subscribe, and more. Love y'all. See you next time. Bye.